Concern has been expressed about the fact that cow's milk contains estrogens and could stimulate the growth of hormone-sensitive tumors. Consumption of dairy products could both promote the conversion of precancerous lesions or mutated cells to invasive cancer and enhance progression of hormone-dependent tumors. This was initially postulated based on suggestive population scale data like this: 25-fold increase in prostate cancer in Japan since the war. What was happening to their diets during that period? A 5, 10, 20-fold increase in eggs, meat, and dairy consumption, where the rest of their diet remained stable. But diet was not the only major change in Japanese lifestyle in the latter half-century. Similarly, even though countries with higher milk consumption had more prostate cancer deaths, and countries with lower milk consumption had fewer prostate cancer deaths, there could be hundreds of confounding variables. But certainly, it does spur interest in studying the possibility. This recent study represents the other extreme, controlling for as many factors as possible by just isolating prostate cancer cells out of the body in a petri dish and dripping cow's milk on them directly. They chose organic cow's milk because they wanted to exclude the effect of added hormones and just test the effect of all the growth and sex hormones found naturally in all milk. They found that cow's milk stimulates the growth of human prostate cancer cells on each of 14 separate experiments, producing an average increase in cancer growth rate of over 30%. In contrast, almond milk suppressed the growth of these cancer cells by over 30%. But just because something happens in a petri dish or test tube does not mean the same thing happens in a person. It is just suggestive evidence that can be used in a grant application to get money to study actual people. There are two main ways that it's done: retrospective studies looking back, where you take prospective cancer patients and look at what they ate in the past, and prospective studies looking forward, where they look at people's diets first and follow them for a few years and see who gets cancer. The looking back types are called case control studies, where they look at cases of cancer and compare their diets to controls. The forward-looking kind are called cohort studies because you follow a cohort of people forward. Then if you want to get fancy, you can do a meta-analysis where you combine all the best studies done to date in one and see what the balance of available evidence shows. Okay, so here we go. The latest meta-analysis of all the best case control studies ever done on the matter concludes that milk consumption is a risk factor for prostate cancer, and the latest meta-analysis for the best cohort studies ever done also concludes that milk consumption is a risk factor for prostate cancer. An even newer study suggests that milk taken during adolescence may be particularly risky in terms of setting one up for cancer later in life. Despite hormone-related cancers being among our top killers, as pointed out in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, we simply do not know which hormones and how much are in the food we ingest. More effort has been directed to the investigation of illicit use of designer steroids by Olympians and ball players than into the investigation of the effect of dietary hormones on cancer and other diseases that affect millions. Some professionals are proposing to monitor the levels of steroid and other hormones and growth factors in all dairy and meat-containing foods, but as of today, this has not been done.